Philippe Dubarry allowed us in Courtier to gain control and manipulate the politics in the city of Tempest in the game Courtier from Alderac Entertainment Group. Now, Jim Pinto in Dominare is actually going to allow us to create our own conspiracy that will allow us to dominate the city of Tempest. It's a very interesting sounding concept and the box looks very good, but are the contents inside worth the money that you have to pay to get your hands on this game? Welcome to the GMS Magazine unboxing videos. And now we can go to the city of Tempest to develop our own conspiracies and actually get to dominate the place and see how that conspiracy unfolds in front of our very eyes. But it's actually easy to do with what's inside the box. I don't know. I mean, so far I have to say the production for the Tempest-based games has been pretty good. So I have high expectations. Right, as usual, very good illustration, not the hyper-realistic style, but it is actually very, very appropriate. You know, Renaissance kind of era, probably in Venice, I'm guessing, because of the gondola type thing, and definitely in Italy, because it's Dominare. Let's take a look inside. Usual type of box, nothing wrong with it. This is interesting. This is the same format of rules that we found in Courtier, which is interesting. Nothing against it. It's quirky. It's weird, and I like it. The printing is beautiful. It's full color. Oh, and it comes with a little story to start with. You know, that is excellent. Being a fan of games with theme and atmosphere, to have that little story to actually immerse you in what the game is meant to feel like really helps an awful lot. And I really appreciate when companies do that. So it's a very nice and very good surprise. I like it. 24 pages of rule book, which is fine. But again, everything seems to be very nicely put together, you know, the object of the game, the components, the setup. And the setup is just one thing, just one column. That's good. I like it. Again, something that we saw in Courtier, your key concepts, you know, the how to play, the overview, the anatomy of the card, that is absolutely excellent. And then you have the game map, you know, where are the canals, the swamp, etc. Your faces, everything is very well illustrated, and there are a fair amount of examples of play, which is very good, especially if the game is going to be a little bit more complex. And I can imagine that this is possibly going to be a slightly more complex game than Courtier. So, I mean, if anything, because it has more pages of rules, that tells me that it's going to be a lot more to do in the game. Even so, I cannot say that the rules are putting me off. Quite the opposite. Because they are easy for me to read and see where everything else is, although I wish I could see a little bit more space to breathe, but that's just from the graphical design point of view. This is nothing to do with usability. There's a little bit more space to breathe, for the text to breathe. That would be quite nice. But again, you see plenty of examples of play, which is great. So sorry, I'm not going to continue with this because I like it. Okay. Tokens, again. Ooh, these are actually surprisingly light for an AEG game. It's still quite sturdy. Very good quality cardboard in here. The print is good for the carving, so that's actually okay. And it is detailed enough. They're meant to be silver and gold and copper coins. It shouldn't have anything too over dramatic or melodramatic about this design. So I quite like it. It felt a little bit light to start with, but once you have the token in your hand, these are actually quite robust, so I don't have any problems with it. And now we come to the board. This is going to be a very, very big board. Let's take a look at this. Oh my god, this. Goodness. This is a big board, and not just this is a big board, it's a big double-sided board. This is excellent. This is beautiful. I really like this board. First things that I notice, the cartography of the city of Tempest is very detailed, but it doesn't get so bogged down in useless details that creates chromatic noise. Everything is very easy to identify and it is very easy to see. The borders, which could be considered, some people might say they're a bit too thick and they're a bit rude. No, they're not actually. They divide the areas very, very well indeed. You can see the trade routes very clearly. All the icons are where they are meant to be and they are very easy to identify. The seasons on the top of the board, again, they are very easy to see, as are all the factions within the city and the exposure track. This is a very well defined and very well designed board. I really like the cartography. I think it looks beautiful. Even though you see you have an awful lot of little boats that are the same, but they are not the same in your face, and you can really say, oh my god, why did you keep using the same clip art? I am very impressed. This is the board for 5 to 6 players, and I presume the back of the board is going to be for from 2 to 4 players. Very impressed. I really am very impressed with this board. I like it an awful lot. The insert, full of space for absolutely everything, including a little gap in here for all the coins, which is excellent. Tons of wooden cubes and little cylinders. I'm not going to go into these because they're just the typical, you know, wooden cubes I wish I had invented myself and be rich because of producing them. And 3 decks of cards. Right, we just have to open these and see how good they are. Standard card quality for AEG. Good quality without being incredibly thick, could be a lot thinner. Good and easy to handle. Beautiful printing, as usual. Everything is very easy to see. You can immediately identify where everything it is within the card, from the character to what it does, all the iconography, the values, everything is very easy to see. And that I like an awful lot. But again, I cannot expect any less from a company like AEG. You know, they've made a reputation from making and designing very good games. Vibrant colors. The whole thing is lovely. Really lovely. Here we open another one. Again, the whole thing, you know, they don't beat around the bushes. These cards are meant to be played with and read, and it's not something that they want you to spend hours and hours looking for things within the card. Brilliant. Same thing for the landscape cards. Very simple graphic design, both back and forward in the card. The rules are to the point. A bit verbose, but that's fine. I don't have anything against that. Nothing at all. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I like the insert. I think the insert will prove to be very useful indeed. Overall, I have the feeling, and we still have another game from this series to take a look at, but overall I have the feeling that AEG has done just the right thing. They've decided to go for a style, they've decided to go for a look, they've decided to go for a feel, and they are maintaining that look and feel and style consistently throughout all the games that are based in the city of Tempest. They're not holding back in terms of production. Okay, that board is absolutely incredibly well produced and I really like it. The inserts have been very well thought out. Again, top notch, top notch. If the game plays anywhere near as well as it looks, you want to buy this game. It's absolutely beautiful. Well done indeed.